Welcome to Newman's Portal. I'm Phyllis.
And I'm Roshana. And on this channel, we'll be empowering you on how to grow yourself, expand your boundaries, avenues to migrate, build essential skills, and search for jobs.
So here we have Roshana with us to ask her a few questions about migrating to Canada. Hi Roshana,
Hi, Phyllis.
how are you today?
I'm fantastic.
Why did you choose to search out of Jamaica for university?
You know, one of my long-term goals was to leverage first world opportunities. And with that being said, I knew that I either had to find a job or find a course to study overseas.
How did you find the university?
So I had family in Brandon, Manitoba. And so I came to visit in 2014. And when I came in 2014, I fell in love with the community. I fell in love with the city. And I knew that I wanted to come back here to start a family and to start a life. So after my visit in 2014, I went back to Jamaica and I started looking for universities within Brandon. And I came up with two tertiary institutions, which were Assiniboine Community College, they call it ACC, and Brandon University, they call it BU. And so I chose the university over the community college.
So at what time have you sent in your application?
So I actually applied on the deadline. The deadline to apply that year was March 15th, and I applied on March 15th.
Nice. How did you feel when your application was approved?
When my application was approved, I was super excited. It felt like things finally started coming together, and my dream of living overseas was finally becoming a reality.
So your application approved, and then you get home. What did you say to your parents, and what was the advice they gave you?
When I got home, I showed them the application, the acceptance package, and they were excited too because they knew what this opportunity meant for me. And so they told me to follow my dreams, and the sky is the limit. They gave me lots of encouraging words, lots of motivation. If this is what you want to do, make use of the opportunity because the opportunity comes once and you may never be able to catch this opportunity again. And so I did take their advice and made sure I held on to that opportunity, and here I am today.
Okay. Going to university, studying at university, it is costly. It costs a lot of money. Where did you get funds?
So in Jamaica, I was a classroom teacher. So, teachers don't make a lot of money, but I was a big saver because I knew that I had this dream. So I had access to family funds as well. So I pooled my savings and the family funds together. And that's how I came up with the money to pay tuition, everything else.
Okay. You decided to travel. You go to, give your employer her notice. What did she say? And what did your co-workers say?
My co-workers were excited when I told them about the opportunity. They were like, oh my God, Newman is going away. And, they held surprise party for me. It was a bittersweet moment because, they're saddened because I'm not going to be there anymore and they're going to miss me. But at the same time, they were happy for me that because I was getting this opportunity and would pave the way for them. As for my employer, she was a little bit more on the not happy that I'm leaving side because she had great plans for me. And so she asked me, do you really want to go? And I said yes.
What did you pack? And were you overloaded?
So, you know what? I packed from a pit one angle, is that what they say? I packed everything down to towels. I packed clothes that I even had 10 years ago, 10 years before. I surely overpacked. I had 2 suitcases and 1 carry-on, as well as a handbag. And I packed everything that I didn't even need when I came to Canada. But because you're so excited, you're migrating, so you're I don't know when I'm gonna come back to Jamaica, so I had to pack everything that I thought I would need. And so when I got to my suitcases were overloaded in Jamaica. I had a connecting flight, and so my bags were reweighed, and I had to take some of the stuff out. I had to open all my luggages and take some of the stuff out and throw them in the garbage. So I wasn't able to take everything that I actually packed.
How was your flight? What was your flight like?
The flight was pretty smooth. It was 4 hours from Kingston, from Norman Malley International Airport to Pearson International Airport in Toronto. So I had something to eat on the flight, and I slept. I was tired because of how excited I was. I wasn't sleeping a couple of days before because the adrenaline rush, you're leaving, and so things had to be put in place. It was pretty smooth.
Traveling from your first destination to ending up in your home, what was the journey like? Was it far? What was this view around like?
So it was a long day and a long night. I left Jamaica. Well, I left my home. I'm from St. Catherine. I left my home at about 1 p.m. and my flight was 4:30. So I left home 1 p.m. because you have to be at the airport 3 hours before for an international flight. I got to Toronto at 9 something. So it was 4 hours flight. And then I had a layover. So I had to sleep in Toronto. I actually missed my flight. So I had to stay at a hotel, and then I had to sleep in Toronto, then catch my flight to my final destination the next morning. So that flight was 2.5 hours. When I got to that airport, my aunt came to pick me up at the airport, and it was another 2.5 hours drive home. So from airport to Brandon to the house is 2.5 hours of seeing bush. Like, it's canola, lots of plants. I call them bush. Some of them I don't know. Like, there were no houses, there was nothing on the road, there were no sightseeing. Like, it was just a long, straight, lonely road, just cars.
So when you get to Canada the next day, what was the next move? What did you do pertaining to school?
So when I arrived, so I left Jamaica on August 1st, and I came and I got to my destination on August 2nd, because it's a long day. As soon as I got here, I went to sort out my social insurance number so that I could start looking for a job. And when I arrived on August 2nd, I hit the ground running. I got my social insurance number. I started looking for jobs, and by August 5th, that's 3 days in the country, I had 2 jobs.
What were those jobs?
So, I was working at Bath and Body Works and another clothing store, both as customer service representatives. So I was a teacher in Jamaica, and I came here to be a customer service representative, standing on my feet for a whole 8 hours. And I gotta tell you too, by October 1st, I had 3 jobs, and I had to resign from the first 2 jobs and keep that 3rd job because that was yielding more returns, and that job was a serving position.
So tell me now. You was a teacher back home, dressing, going to school, to work, and facing students and facing teachers and all that. How comes you leave Jamaica as a teacher and come here to work as a server or to do those little jobs?
You know what? In Canada, no job is frowned upon. Like, every job is held with high degree, and that's what sort of even motivated me to not allow pride to not get what I want. And with a serving job, like I would encourage any international student to get a serving job because tips, you make tips, and those tips go a far way. You can use those tips to pay your phone bill, pay your internet bill, to buy food. Whilst if I had a regular customer service or office job, like it would just be my salary that I would be living from. So it works out for students.
Okay. And our last question. What advice would you give a students who are preparing? Now is preparing time to come to school at this time. What advice would you give them? What to pack, what to expect and all of that?
So the advice I would give is definitely don't overpack. Towels are sold in the dollar store unless you have sentimental attachment to serve some towels or something that can be bought in the dollar store. Other than that, dress for the unexpected. Because I missed my flight and I had to sleep over in Toronto. Wear comfortable shoes and comfortable clothes. And until next time, stay around for more videos on Newman's Power Talk.